Before I start, I'd like to know my audience a little bit more. So how many of you folks have been in, how many of folks are in data management or data governance? Oh, great show of hands. How many of you have been doing it with a solution? Not many. Yeah, the hands went down drastically, actually. All right. So I am here to talk about a little bit about how you can apply a solution and help you really provide value for your end users with data. And it's not just for your end users, but it's also for AI. And I'm going to demo that. So I'm going to demo a live demo on our data catalog as well as our data marketplace, which is a shopping experience for end users to come and shop, share, and compare data sets in an Amazon-like friendly way. So I have been in the industry, as you heard, for quite some time, actually. And I started out as a customer working for Wells Fargo, actually. And so I've spent a lot of time in your shoes trying to serve up some really good data for whatever business initiative that you're working on. So just to start off with from an AI perspective, definitely data, everybody knows this is at the heart of AI, but what the most common misconception that is out there right now and that leads to kind of failure of your AI, some of your AI programs and practices that you have is that people think that it's all about the algorithm, it's all about that AI model, when in fact it's about getting your hands on the right data to serve the purpose of that AI and to make sure that you are monitoring and observing that data, putting the right data together to serve up that AI. For those of you that are data professionals, this should make you feel really secure about your job going forward. So by 2029, we are going to more than double in the industry as far as data governance goes because of how needy we are with making sure that that data is compliant as well as good and trusted data certified within the organization. So how do we bridge that gap? How do we bridge the gap and not just serve up numbers, not just serve up databases and applications to those people that are working with AI, to those folks that are trying to get insights out of the data? Number one, we want to be consistent. So if you're serving up data and sometimes it's okay and sometimes it doesn't work at all, users aren't going to trust you. They're not going to trust that you're giving them the right data. Context. So what is that? That is ensuring that you're giving that data out through the lens of the business. So the lens of the business, they need to understand that data. Just giving up a bunch of numbers, a bunch of reports, until they're data literate, they're not going to really understand what to do with that data. And then well-curated data, that's where you're starting to apply those business controls and those business processes and those business rules around the data and communicating it to the folks that are actually using the data. At the core of our catalog, we also have data quality. So you can use the catalog to look at things like data lineage and understand that the visualization is showing me that this data has been impacted by business rules that are changing over and over and over again, and the data has spiraled out into a big mess of spaghetti, perhaps. And it's been business rule applied to business rule on top of that data. I need to go in and do some forensics around that data and maybe some profiling around that data, and then you see the results in the visualizations of the data as you're working inside of the catalog. So serving up good, clean data. So why do we need data intelligence with AI? A number of reasons, and these are how it's changing, how data catalogs are changing to meet the needs of AI, because we're finding out that things like humans cannot detect their own bias. So we're all biased in some way, and it's going to be social science as well as computer science that's going to help us keep the data on track and really understanding that data and making sure that you're protecting yourselves against these hallucinations and the bias of the data. Data drifts. Data's always going to change. It's not a stagnant thing. So you're going to have to observe that data set behind your AI model. You're going to have to continually train, accept, and reject what's happening to the data that's inside of your model. And that's going to be really hard to do if you're trying to do it manually in all these different pockets across the organization. LLMs, so it's proven that your LLM is going to perform much better if it's on well-defined, structured, and accurate data. I'm sure that's a no-brainer for you all. Pipelines, so let's talk about pipelines needing to be smart. In the demo, you're going to see that when you're looking at a data pipeline, you're going to know the quality of the data, you're going to know where that data originated, and you're going to know what happened to that data as it moves from system to system. So instead of using spreadsheets, instead of going to your subject matter experts across the organization, you're going to be able to monitor the inputs and the outputs of your AI, the data that's supporting your key reports in an automated fashion, and get to the source of the problem immediately by looking at the visualizations of the data. And then finally, all of this goes towards creating consumer confidence where you're delivering that data, making it a little bit more self-democratized across the organization and reliable. We have a 7-step process that we use. Because we're Irwin, we start with data modeling, right? So putting that blueprint together of your data environment and then using those logical elements as a starter to accelerate your catalog. So we bring the model into the catalog, and you get to see the data in how it's been logically defined and standardized within the organization. Then we curate the information. So you put all those good business rules and policies and curation around the data so you know how to use the data. Observing the data is where data quality is continuously looking, ensuring that that data is reliable, ensuring that it's meeting the threshold of integrity that you've set for that data set. And then finally, the latest and greatest piece is the data marketplace. So the data marketplace, we take the combination of the quality of the data, how well liked the data set is, and how well governed that data set is, and classify it into gold, silver, and platinum data. So you know what type of data is and how well liked it is, et cetera. So it's its own algorithm that helps you classify the quality of the data. And then finally, you put it out there to shop, share, and compare. This includes external data sets as well as internal data sets. So if you want to compare your internal data to third-party data sets, you can. If you, we've had clients that only have third-party data sets. So if you want to govern those third-party data sets and not have to repurchase them down the line, that's also an option for you. So when you're thinking about AI, if you've gone through those 7 steps, you are certifying your data. So you're releasing it and saying, this is really good data. It's right here for you. You don't have to go out searching for it. And then you're observing that data on a regular basis behind that AI model and getting alerted when PI information comes in, getting alerted when the data falls below that threshold, et cetera. So those are some new capabilities. It's true that when data starts to drift, a quality issue is detected 1 or 2 weeks later. So you want to be alerted to that. I already explained the gold, silver, and bronze data. And then finally, before I get into the demo, my demo is going to be on a data product. So it's important to talk about what a data product is because it's kind of different between different organizations and cultures that I go out and speak with. So Gartner is really recommending this as well as a way to increase adoption across the different domains, and it really becomes a tangible thing when you think about a data product. So a data product would be a business person coming to a designer or an analyst on your data team and saying, I need every data asset that you can give me around this problem that I'm trying to solve or this initiative that I'm going to market with. And then the designer is going to go into the model and say, okay, this is the type of data that you need. Think about it from an AI perspective. When you're starting a new AI initiative, if someone just hands you a Snowflake database, it's going to be really hard to put together and find the data that you need for that model. So if you start from a modeling perspective and say, This is the logical information. The catalog is going to tell you exactly what databases to find that information in. And now the new marketplace is going to actually give you that data. So that's brand new, right? Metadata repositories, data governance environments, it's usually the metadata. But now with the data supermarket or marketplace, you can come in and actually deliver the data sets back to your end users. And it follows a workflow process, so you have to request this data set. And the product packages it all up, so you just have to request the product. So the product can contain many data sets, internal or external data sets. It can contain reports. It can contain the policies and the rules around those reports, as well as maybe 1 or 2 AI models with the product itself. And then you measure and monitor that product on a regular basis to make sure that it's following the value and the intent that you created that product for. So the 3 key attributes are making sure that products are accessible, that they're providing value, and that somebody's owning and watching it on a regular basis. And we have a lot of clients that are taking this supermarket product approach and really seeing a lift in end user adoption, because it's something really easy to think about, right? I'm going to my marketplace to get really good data sets, shop for data sets, create my shopping cart, and understand those data sets. So let me get to the demo without further ado. All right, the most important part is the demo, right? So this is the front end of the marketplace, and I can go into it and look at different, I can go in by a policy, I could go in by business rules or PI information, but I want to go into it from a product perspective. So I'm going to say, show me all the different products that I have as soon as I find my, those are the policies, rules, processes, regulations. So I hit data products. So here's my marketplace of data products that are available to me. And on the left-hand side, I can filter it down into only give me the gold-rated ones, or only give them to me according to this steward. So there's a lot of different ways that you can filter these data products. And then I get an initial description of what that product is, how good the product is, and there's that value score. So it's gold because of these scores on those 3 areas of what I said of how you can score the data sets. And now I might not be sure if this is the right data set or not, so I'm going to compare it. So here's our Amazon compare. I'm bringing up 3 different data sets. I say compare, and now it's giving me where it's the same and where it's different. So right away I can see this is a gold, this is a bronze, another gold data set. Get the descriptions, when was it created, who created it, who owns it, whether it's what the actual intent of that product is, any entitlements that are around that product. And hey, if you want to monetize these data products and sell them across the organization, you can do that as well. So this is a nice compare screen for the data sets. So I think I want to use this Customer Care Plus data product. And now I'm zeroing in on the individual pieces of data. What were the insights? What was the business initiative for that particular data product, and what's included in that data product? And what's really cool about this next piece, it's called the mind map. So the mind map on the right-hand side tells me exactly what policies, what business rules, what do I need to be aware of when I use this particular Customer Care Plus product. And I can also see the contract of exactly how to use that, any sort of GDPR compliance rules, etc. And on the left-hand side, it's going to show me, you know what, let me just blow this whole, I'll just go here. So on the left-hand side, it shows me exactly what databases the data is that's feeding that product. And you can do this for an AI model as well. Show me the data that's feeding this AI model. And as I expand out to the left-hand side, I can see it came from the data warehouse, from EDW prod, and here's one of the tables that's feeding it, and it looks like it's pretty good data because it's green at 78%, but there's some privacy information in here that I really need to be aware of. So maybe I want to go and look at what that privacy information looks like from a data perspective. So when I say, show me the lineage for this particular table, this is where you're going to start to understand what data is feeding what here. So here's all the inputs and the outputs to that table. So you can see Tableau, Power BI. Can you guys read it? Is it super small like it is for me, or is it decent size? Okay. It's small? All right. So these are all the different reports that are coming out of it, and then you can drop down and understand the reports from a field level of exactly where did that data come from. And it goes all the way back through your environment, your data lakes, maybe your data warehouses, and you can keep drilling down into the actual element level lineage. And when you get a bunch of spaghetti like this, you probably want to say, just highlight what I want to look at, and then really zero in on what's happening to the data as it moves, because we're capturing the ETL. So you're going to be able to see the ETL of how that data is moving and where it's ending up in your reporting environment. So really quick and easy understanding of how the data is flowing. In my past, it used to be, oh, never bring a business user in to see that. But that is going away because they are getting more and more curious as to exactly what's going on with the data and where it came from. And so we're offering a lot more visualization in here. So when you see yellow, when you see green, you can see the quality of the data and where it's going to and where it's coming from, and then go in and do some forensics around that data. So that's just a little taste of data lineage. I also wanted to show you that from a marketplace perspective, you're able to request the data set as well. So, let's actually take it from an AI perspective, because I know a lot of you are here from an AI perspective and want to see the power of understanding the data behind AI. I wonder if I am not online anymore. I am online. Do we have any questions while I am bringing the system back up? I know we were going to walk through the audience, and here's the AI models. So maybe I want to shop and share and understand more about this fraud detection model. So it's giving me all the great business information around that fraud detection model. So what type of model is it? What was the purpose? So it's a good place to put the intent of your AI model in here, and then also see the AI or the mind map of how to use that model. So what regs do I need to worry about? Oh, by the way, there's some third-party data that's associated with this fraud detection model. And then when I build it out again, and let's just build it all the way out, I can see how good or bad that data is that's feeding that model right from the system itself. So really good information on how to look at all the information around your AI model. So another thing that I wanted to do real quick is take you into the data quality zone so that you're investigating more about the quality of the data behind that AI model.
So for your current clients, are they just purchasing some of this data and then ingesting that into their own data warehouses? Or is there like a direct pipe where they can connect to yours and then just push it into their own systems?
Yeah, so we provide you with APIs. So we can either bring those in or connect to another area where you have third-party data sets. I'm thinking you're asking about third-party data sets. We also have connections out of the box for like Databricks and Snowflake. Okay. So if you want to bring that through. From an AI perspective, we are bringing the actual AI models from Databricks, serving them up through the catalog so that you can monitor that data on a regular basis inside of the catalog itself and do quality on it and analysis. So great question. But yes, we can connect to another data store if you're purchasing the data from another data store on a regular basis, bring that in, and then resell it so that not all the different organizations or different lines of business are redundantly purchasing the same data, if you will. Yes. Yep. Great question. Any other questions out there? Okay. Yes, please.
As you went down, traversed the data, you started to see blue, green, and different colors for the data, and I'm just wondering what that meant. And does it mean that all the data isn't in gold status?
All the data is what?
It's not gold.
Yes. Okay. So there's two different scoring and profiling are different. So when you're in the lineage, you're looking at the profiling results. So you're looking at green, yellow, and red, and you're knowing where good and bad data is propagating and where it's coming from, and you can do your forensic analysis. But when you're shopping for a data set in the marketplace, you're seeing the gold, silver, and bronze, because that's more than just data quality. It's also a collaborative way to measure how well liked that data set is with your end users and your scientists that are using those data sets, as well as how well curated. Have I gone in and created my business information? Do I have it connected to policies and rules and things like that? So it's taking all three of those and classifying it into gold, silver, and bronze for the shopping experience. Great question, thank you. Any other questions? So the rest of the part of the demo is showing how you can observe the data on a regular basis. So you guys can set, what do I need to be alerted on? I want to be alerted when the quality goes down. I want to be alerted when privacy information seeps into my algorithm. I want to be alerted when I have a critical data element. And we do help you rationalize critical data elements. I know a lot of folks are out there trying to do that manually as well. But we look at usage inside of the databases and how often they're used inside of like the lineage graphs and things like that to give you the usage statistics. Yes?
Hey, so just so I know what I'm looking at here, all the different things that you're selecting from and evaluating based on their the quality and the lineage and all the different metrics, those are all Quest proprietary products, yes?
It comes with our catalog.
Right.
Yes.
And Irwin TM is the framework or rubric that all this sits upon.
Irwin DI. Yep. Yep.
Okay.
So we've had Irwin DM for many, many years, as you probably know. And we connect to DM to bring in that logical information and accelerate the build of everything else. So everything else is the data intelligence environment, which includes a catalog, a business glossary, data quality, and then the marketplace. Yeah, great question, thank you. And this is just an example of how you're looking at drift. So I went into a column here and I can see that I'm doing pretty good on some of these data quality rules, but here on duplicates, I'm not doing so good. So it's red, it's outside of the threshold of integrity that I've set. And then I can see over time how it started to go up or down. At what point did it change? And it gives me the date, and I can go in and start drilling in on the data itself for that data quality measurement. So you can stay high level, everything's role-based, so you can stay on it from a business perspective and just shop and share data sets, or you can get really down into the guts of it and really understand how the data quality started to go awry or how my model started to drift and do some forensics around that. You can also remediate, so it will offer you some SQL code to say, yeah, this is what we think it's doing. Here's some code, go ahead and go apply it if you so choose, to fix that issue. Any other questions? I went kind of fast. I was worried about running out of time. So, nope. Okay. Oh, there's one more question. Hi.
Hi. I'm wondering if this product automatically generates Tableau or Power BI dashboard, and if those dashboards are customizable. For example, you can write your own code and then write advanced formulas or functions.
Yeah, no, we don't generate dashboards, but we do bring in dashboards and reports, the metadata about them, so that you can see that lineage, so you can see what data is populating those dashboards and those reports, but we don't generate reports. We do generate ETL code, so if you want to use the catalog the same way that Irwin Data Modeler generates database schemas, we can also generate code with our catalog. Once you have the source and targets connected inside of the catalog, we can help you generate code, which, yep, but not dashboards, sorry. Yes. Is the catalog stored in the repository so you can generate the code yourselves? The code for the ETL?
Right.
We will push that code out to your ETL tool.
Can we do modifications from the repository?
You
Like,
can,
do we have
actually,
access?
on the ETL, we have a mapping, source to target mapping zone where you can apply some code and then push it into your ETL tool.
Oh, nice. So
Yeah.
we have access. Okay,
Yes.
Thank you.
Yes. Yep. So it's a really fun new world now that we're getting into the actual data and not just the metadata, because you can start to action out. You can start to apply all that great governance that you've done to that data and use that data and bring that data back through the marketplace versus just always having it be a secondary controlled business measurement on your data. You can actually start to use that data and allow access from a self-serve perspective through the marketplace. So really fun stuff. I'm excited about it. All right, thank you all. Enjoy the rest of your conference.